Hello everyone. This is Tobi from the Phuket Meditation Center, and you're listening to the Dharana Meditation Podcast. Let's sit together, calm the busy mind, and explore topics concerning character development, meditative training, and deeper self-knowledge. So we begin by sitting upright. The head is gently suspended from above. Let all the soft tissues in your body melt, sink into the ground. Breathing comfortably so that it feels nice. We simply offer some space, some time for everything to settle down. Perhaps spend a few moments asking yourself what the desire is behind sitting here, closing your eyes, doing a meditation. What's the point? What are you truly looking for? Try to get some clarity on that. As you breathe in, allow your awareness to spread out into your entire body, just feeling the physical presence. As you breathe out, releasing, softening, let the body release all this tension that it might be holding on to in its own way, in its own time, bit by bit. Breathing in, feeling, breathing out, softening. And gradually bringing the mind and the body together. Notice how nice it is to let go of tension. Even if you let go just a little bit, it's a little bit better. Make sure that you notice this and that you appreciate those little moments of improvement. And you can see every time you let go of tension in the body is thankful. only letting go of tension in the body, but also of tension in the mind. And we do this by becoming more present, or letting go of the future, letting go of the past, connecting with your body, being aware of what is happening right now in this moment. As you stay connected to the present, everything gradually settles down. And the experience becomes more peaceful. Notice how the entire body is filled with aliveness. Every cell is buzzing. Feelings are moving through the physical form. Feeling your body means getting in touch with life, experiencing life directly, not as an abstract story in your head, but as an actual living experience. Similarly, your surrounding is teeming with life. Everything is alive. So we just rest with this experience of aliveness. As you might have observed, this is nothing that you can do. You cannot do life. This is something that just simply is, and it is the way it is. So the fact that you don't have to do anything, you don't have to produce anything, you don't have to get anywhere, is quite relaxing. There's no need to change anything or get rid of anything. Everything that arises passes by itself, unless you're holding it. Every thought that comes up passes by itself. Every word, every image, every sensation, every sound. There's nothing you need to do. Resting in your being, that part of yourself that is without effort. All that exists is simply just sound, sensation, thoughts, light, smell, and taste. None of that is a problem. All of that is simply just life. Once you realize that, recognize that, just rest. There's nothing further to be done. Whatever arises in your mind, whatever opinion, judgment, desire, can you see that it arises without any effort? And then it remains for a little while, and then it passes into the next thing that arises. Another thought, another word, another opinion, another judgment, another desire. Simply the mind at work. There's no need to get involved, just like you do not need to get involved with a movie that you're watching. Every time you notice that you're totally involved, trying, doing, pursuing, fighting, hoping, fearing, the moment you notice there's nothing further to be done, rest right there. Awake, aware, you can then see that everything that arises passes. Every thought turns into another. Every sound turns into another. Effortlessly. The movement goes from trying to control the experience of life towards simply appreciating the way it is. Letting it be. That is how stress ends. And in your own time, you can slowly come back, open your eyes, gently stretch a little bit. So we might all be quite different, have all quite different desires and ideas about life, opinions, experiences, memories. But there is something that we all have in common, that we all share. I think that's what's important to focus on. Whenever you think of other people as well, focus on what matters. So what is it that we have in common that we all share? What's at the root of every desire that governs your activities? When you get up in the morning and you go to work, when you pay your bills, when you're sitting down for meditation, like we just did, when you're coming to class or going back out, going home, going here, going there, doing all those things, what's really governing all those activities? What's at the root? something we're hoping for, something we're afraid of. And it's pretty simple, actually, straightforward. We're hoping for an end of suffering, an end of stress, an end of tension, an end of all those things that you don't like, that you would not want to experience. And at the same time hoping for happiness, for pleasure, for safety, for peace. That is what governs all our actions. And of course, if you look at human history, then all evolution is really based on that simple drive of improving things, making them better, more efficient. So the very force that governs you, that governs all our activities, not only your activities, but all activities in nature, all processes in the entire universe, is simply to keep things in balance and to make sure that evolution can happen, can take place. So that desire for happiness that we all share, that we all have in common, and the wish for suffering to end, is the most important thing that we could focus on. Rather than seeing different groups of people and, for example, saying, oh, those are the Hinduists, or those are the Muslims, or those are the Democrats, or those are the Republicans, and focus on what separates us, what makes us very different, focus on what matters. Those are beings that suffer, that would like to see their suffering come to an end. Just like myself, I'm one of those. Me too, I would like to see my suffering come to an end. I would like to rest. I'd like to come to this final point where I can say, done. There is nothing for me left to be afraid of. There's no worries that I need to be having anymore. There's no stress. Now I'm finally free to live my life. I'm gone beyond all those turbulences that I'm currently going through, and now there is peace. Now I'm free. I'm available. I can finally enjoy. Everyone is hoping for that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. In fact, it's wonderful. It's evolution driving you. But if you don't hear that call, if you don't listen to it, then you will act the way you've been programmed to act. You will react and respond to life and this world just the way you have learned to react and respond to life in this world. You'll have opinions just the way you've learned to have opinions. You will judge just in accordance with what you've learned. That is not freedom at all. When you turn on the television and you see, you see an image of Trump and you immediately feel, ooh, bad. That is not freedom. Where have you learned to feel that way? If you see an image of Biden, you immediately think, oh, good. Where have you learned that? And vice versa. Where have you learned to look at an entire group of people and think, those idiots, those stupid people? Where have you learned to think those thoughts, to feel those feelings, to have those judgments and opinions? If you go even slightly beyond the surface, you'll discover, oh wow, it's entirely programmed. The entire mind, the psyche, is just a vast program. And it just runs, it just does its thing. If you push the button, the machine runs. Hence people always say, right, I'm triggered. Yeah, that's because you're nothing but a program. You have no awareness, so you cannot step outside of it. You can't see. There is a place within you that is not programmed, that is not made, that is not done. You can't make it. You can't do it. It's the very center of your being, the heart, yourself. And it would be completely absurd if I told you, Chris, just be Chris for the next 2 minutes. Try your best. Try really hard to be Chris. It's an absurd instruction. There is actually no instruction required for him to be Chris. That's the most natural and easy thing to be. But you could, of course, turn it into a problem. Why would we turn it into a problem? Trying to be myself. Are you ever not yourself? See what that is? It's called confusion. It's nothing but confusion. We don't understand. We don't question. We don't look any deeper. And so, as a result, we might actually sit down for half an hour every day and try to be ourselves. It's an absurd activity. Completely unnecessary and totally confused. Just as confused as we might become upon watching a movie. And you're watching that movie and you become so confused that you don't realize anymore that it's just a movie. You get pulled in. You feel emotional. You feel stress, tension, fear, desire, sadness. Because you confuse yourself with what you see. You forget that you are the watcher. You're safe. Just like when you're dreaming, you forget that it's a dream. You don't know that you're dreaming, so all the dream images appear as reality, as a real threat, and you experience yourself as a solid person that goes through a solid landscape and is pursued by monsters or pursues a nicer view or whatever. That is confusion. You don't know you're dreaming, so you're totally programmed by the dream. You're not running the show at all. You're like a leaf in the wind. You're subject to the wind's mood. If the wind goes left, you go left. If it goes right, you go right. That's not freedom. If the dream goes down the drain and turns into a nightmare, you have absolutely no freedom to just go above it and relax. Because you don't know that you're dreaming. If the movie goes into a different direction, turns into heaven, a beautiful paradise, also you have no freedom. You're totally a subject to the dream. You're subject to your own programming of your own psyche in your own head. Some people wouldn't take a drug. They say, oh, then I would be under the control of the substance. Yet they have no problem being under the control of their own mind, day in, day out, completely, utterly governed, a victim of circumstances, a victim of themselves, their own programming. No problem with that. While we wouldn't take a drug, we don't realize that we're completely drugged by our own selves, by our own minds. And so the drug that governs your perceptions, that makes you feel bad man when you see Trump on the television screen, that drug that you're influenced is just as bad as any other drug. It makes people go to war with one another. That's how bad it is. It makes people help one another. That's how potentially good it is. But the problem is, whether it's good or bad, it's still not free. That's the problem. You're still bound. And there is a part of you that is not bound. That's what I'm pointing to. The core, the center of your being. That thing that you cannot do. So when you sit down and you meditate, then it's easy to fall into the trap of doing. You might try to focus. You might try to overcome. You might try to get a certain state. That's all okay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing necessarily. But all this activity will keep you from actually realizing what's deeper than the trying, the doing, and so on. You can't realize that part of yourself that is effortless. So you can't relax. And as you cannot relax, how is there going to be peace? Is peace something you can make? Well, obviously not. If it would be, then it would be subject to destruction. It's not real peace. If you can build it, you can break it. Hence, you will never have true peace because you would always have to be scared that your little piece that you've built will be destroyed. And it will be. Because that's just the nature of things. Everything is impermanent. It's flux. It's dependent upon causes and conditions. Therefore, it cannot be maintained. If you're looking for something reliable, you have to look elsewhere. If you're looking at objects, you will always look at things that change, that are subject to change. What you perceive as bad today, you perceive as good tomorrow. What you perceive as good today, you'll perceive as bad tomorrow. Things change. Your perceptions change. Your desires change. Your moods change. Your feelings, your thoughts change. Everything changes. So if you try to find peace and happiness within a world of change, how could you ever really relax? Because your peace isn't guaranteed. It's like an insurance that you buy. It's by no means a guarantee that you'll be safe, that they'll pay when they have to. There is no guarantee, and you can never really relax. Even if you have all the insurances in the world. I'm from Germany. Insurances are a big thing in Germany. There's an insurance for everything. And many of those insurances are mandatory. You have to have them. But it's still no guarantee. Still people are stressed. If insurances were a guarantee, the Germans would be the most relaxed people on earth. Is that the case? I don't think so. Even great infrastructure, fantastic landscapes, unpolluted lakes, beautiful nature, but so much stress, so many worries especially. It seems the more insurances and laws we have, the more we worry. It's not that the opposite is the case, that, oh, the world is giving me a guarantee that I will be safe. If that was actually the case, if you would really swallow that pill, you'd have basically almost no more suffering because you know you will be safe. But something within you knows you're not. Which is the truth. You're not. Because your safety is of the world. Hence, it's subject to change. It's unreliable. As Ajahn Chah always used to say, it is not sure. It's not sure. Your future is uncertain. Your reactions and actions are uncertain. Everything is uncertain. As long as you're governed by the world, as long as you're subject to the world, bound to the world, how can you ever truly relax? It's not possible. Because everything is constantly changing. So we need to go beyond something that is always changing to find true peace. To really be able to relax properly, you'd have to find something that is not of the world. To come back to our dream simile, if you want to be really safe and happy in your dream, you need to have something that is not of the dream, that you can rely on. As long as you're relying on dream stuff for happiness and peace, well, you already know where that leads. So you'd have to rely on something that is not of the dream. So where could you find that? Well, it's the very thing. Maybe thing is not the right word here. Let's still use it. It's the very thing that is looking at the dream. It's that element which is aware of the dream. That awareness within which the dream is taking place is not of the dream. It's still intimate with the dream, but it's not bound to it. Just like the TV screen is not bound to what is displayed on it. For example, if you have a lucid dream, you're aware that you're dreaming while the dream is still going on. You know, oh, all this is a dream right now. There's an immediate surge of great bliss and happiness that comes simply from the fact that you know you cannot be destroyed. You can't be harmed. All fear falls away. Perhaps not all, but a significant amount. Hence we feel super happy and free all of a sudden. Because we're not bound to the dream, but you can still interact with it. Now it's really playful. The fear is gone. In the same way, if you know what to rely on within yourself, within your heart, the knowing quality awareness, you don't have to be afraid of life anymore because you realize yourself to be it. You are that life that you are afraid of. Like the dreamer is that dream that he is afraid of. It is all a single mind, looking like many, looking like a dreamer and a dream object, looking like me here, you there. In essence, it's just one mind, playing in many different colors and shapes. You realize that you are free. To the extent that you realize that within yourself, you are unbound. You do not have to suffer the object of this world anymore. It's playful. It's like having a nightmare and suddenly realizing, wow, this is a dream. The potential that comes up in that moment is amazing. Now you're able to transform. And you're independent even if you cannot transform it. It doesn't matter. The screen doesn't have to change the movies because it doesn't suffer them. That's the possibility that I'm pointing to. And whether you know it or not, the reason why you came here today is because you're searching that. There is a part of you that is looking for that. Your heart is looking for that. You want to be finally at peace. You might not really be aware of this. Maybe you think, no, I want to be more successful at work and I need more focus for that, and therefore I need to learn meditation so I can make more money. Maybe that's your drive. Maybe the drive is, oh, I wish I would just be a bit more relaxed so I can handle life's adversities in a better way. Cool. But that's just the surface. What you really want is to be free. How dare I tell you what you really want? It must be toxic masculinity. Simple as that. You just want to rest. Why not just rest? Because right now you are still under the illusion that, well, rest is some object that you can find out there. You just need to get there. And you need to change the world so you can rest. And you need to change people so you can rest. You need to change the dream so you can rest finally. You need to get more insurances maybe. Maybe then finally you can rest. Promise, you won't be able to rest. Regardless of what you do, rest is not to be found in doing. Doing is just doing, it's a necessity. While you're engaging in the dream of life, you have to do things. You have to move from A to B, you have to interact with people, and so on and so forth. That's just part of life, but it's completely practical. It should not be a source of suffering and pain. And it won't be that when you realize the truth, when you come back home into yourself. If your mind is straying and seeking outside, you'll never find. It's like seeking for an object in a house where it is not. The faster you know that you won't find that, let's say, a golden ring. Okay, there's a golden ring. If I told you there's a golden ring in this house, you just need to find it, and once you found it, your life will be awesome. Okay? The moment you would fully realize that you will not find that golden ring in this house because I lied to you, that's when freedom can begin. Now you do not have to waste tremendous amounts of energy searching for the golden ring, because you know the golden ring is actually in your back pocket. It's closer than you think. And so that's the end of a lot of stress right there. Like making your feelings dependent on what happens is the symptom of somebody that is not awake. So it means, oh, I feel this way because of what's happening there. Yes, of course you do, because you don't realize you're dreaming. So you're bound to the reactions that you have been programmed, that have been programmed into you. We're tied up to those reactions. It's not free. Does that not kind of disgust you in a way? If I contemplate it, it disgusts me actually. It feels like, I'm not free. That means I'm really in danger actually. That means if things turn bad, I'm in for a whole lot of suffering, and they will turn bad. Old age, illness, death, loss, and so on, all that's ahead. Better to get out of this ride before it goes down. Because we're set up for suffering. This is the problem of it, right? Right now, maybe you're not really suffering in a way that's tangible to you, but you're in a ride that leads there, whether you want that or not. That should feel disgusting, to a point where you're like, I need to get out of this ride. Why would you not get out of this ride, though? I tell you what it is, it's just hope. You still have some idea that there is a golden ring at the end of this ride. There is not. It just keeps going and going, and it keeps going up and down and up and down and up and down. There is no golden ring. But you're maybe not really believing me right now. So maybe you believe me a little bit. You feel like, maybe there is no golden ring after all. Maybe I need to look elsewhere, but hey, let's have lunch. And it's quickly blown away by other programs that are running. So yes, it's a gradual process of actually realizing and giving yourself space to realize and following that call of your heart to its center, to the center of your beingness. So then you can actually find what you're really looking for, beyond all that stuff that is unreliable anyways. Follow that call. It's a good one. All right, that's all that comes to mind for today.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and had a meaningful time. For more information and upcoming events, head over to our website at phuket-meditation.com. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful day.